Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about consultants and in-house staff. So let's get into it. So the question in question was in response to another video I made, and it in essence went, Fredrik, if it's such a bad idea to hire consultants to do work and then hand that over to in-house staff, why can't we have both? Can't we have both consultants and in-house staff working together? And the short answer is yes. Yes, you can. And it's actually very common. Let me explain. So what I explained in that previous video was this idea that some companies, especially the really large ones, they have a work process that revolves around budgets, usually. That's something that you will understand if you start working for like a really, really big company. Everything is in a budget. Absolutely everything is in a budget. Even the stuff that you need to like make the office a little bit nicer or like do some crazy things, or like there's always a budget. And if you are over the limit of one budget, which is one of the most important budgets, which is the amount of resources you get to hire in-house staff, the company will not allow you to hire more people. Now that is a problem, as I mentioned in the previous video, because if you need to ship faster or if you need more people but you can't hire any more people, then you don't really have much to do if you're a manager. However, some companies, as I said, the really large ones, they also have a budget for hiring external resources. And this is usually a budget that is allocated for getting someone to do analytics for you, or getting someone to help you set up business insight systems, or data scientists, or something that is just not the in-house staff that you hire from an external company. And some managers then go and think, all right, I need more developer capacity, and so they hire consultants to go and do some specific project on behalf of the company. Now this is a mixed blessing. But there's also a situation that is very common, which is that you actually have a core set of in-house staff that kind of does the work, and then for different, usually office political reasons, you hire consultants and actually have them working side by side with the in-house staff. Now, usually you don't do that as often when you have a short-term project. It's more common that if you are a consultant working together with other in-house staff, that you're going to stick around for a while. And it's kind of interesting because I've heard so many times that from different friends of mine and people that they have worked with, that when this happens, you basically, for all intents and purposes, you become just another person as part of the in-house staff. It's just that you usually get paid more, or you cost more to the company, so they hire you as a consultant instead of a full-time employee, which in theory gives them that ability to fire you whenever they want. But at the same time, if you play your cards right, they almost never do. Like, they keep you around, paying you more usually than all the other in-house staff, but you sit there like everybody else. And you shouldn't be surprised that this happens. It's actually very common that, especially in the large corporations, that you mix consultants and in-house staff, and they just work together for various reasons. Now, you may think that this is just down to, oh, this is kind of dumb. And yes, sure, we can make the argument that this isn't ideal from an economical perspective, but you also have to consider the availability of developers. Some companies have such problems finding developers of a certain experience level, and some companies don't want to invest in recruitment efforts and things like that, because that's also a lot of money. Everything related to finding developers costs you money, because that's hard to find good developers, and they cost a fuck ton to get. So if you are a really large corporation and you have the money and the resources to just get that problem off your back, a lot of companies will do this, and then they will literally scoop up an entire consultancy agency, and that agency will provide them with all of these services, which is literally find all the right people, make sure that they do what they're supposed to be doing, and if you don't like them, we can switch them out. That is even though you pay more for the same sort of work, there is a little bit more administrative, there are more administrative benefits to doing this than just hiring in-house staff. And some companies are very open to paying a little bit extra to not have to deal with all that extra process that comes with hiring people and switching them out and so forth. So what I want you to take away from this is that it's absolutely possible to mix both in-house staff and consultants. It's actually very common that this happens in the bigger corporations. It doesn't always have to be a big corporation, it can be mid-sized companies as well. And the reason why it happens is usually because you, for some reason, can't either, due to office politics, hire more people on the budget that you have for hiring in-house staff. So, but you have another budget that is for external resources, and so you do you're a bit flexible with the meaning of what that is supposed to go toward, and you hire someone. Another way of looking at it is that the company doesn't want to hire more in-house staff because it's a hassle, or maybe their accessibility to them is limited. There's not that many people around, and there are tons of consultancies who already have all these developers, and you need people like immediately. So you pay some extra money to make sure that you get the right people in place, and if you don't like them, you can always switch them out. And companies with enough cash to do this, they also think that this is a benefit because then they don't have to deal with all the extra process around it. And usually these are, at the very least, the most common reasons why you would have both in-house staff and consultants. Have a great day.